Alrighty, so this is my trade recap for October 16th, 25. I trade futures. I'm on a few different platforms for trading right now, just trying stuff out slash funding. My best trading sweep has been last week. I traded 5 days consecutively, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday last week into Monday, Tuesday the next week, and I totaled 18,000, and this was of like my actual money. And then I traded on Wednesday last week, stupidly, shouldn't have entered into the charts, greedy, FOMO, all of it, and lost everything by Friday. So a couple lessons learned in between there, like, less is more, can't trade every day, don't be greedy, be patient, so many things to learn. And I'm starting off again trading, trying to follow my own advice, but then just sticking to the way I do stuff. So I have 2 funded accounts on Tradeovate. I don't think you can see it on here. I'm not sure, just log out. But I have 2 funded accounts on Tradeovate, and then I do the rest of my trading on Top Step. You can't see what my balance is today, but initially I have 5 accounts altogether. 1 leads, the other 4 follow. My total today was 2,000 altogether across accounts because I actually lost a couple accounts today. But anywho, going into trade recap, I trade futures, like I said, Tradeovate. I'm using Alpha Capital or Alpha Futures. I'm also looking at Take Profit Traders, and then Top Step. Trying to figure which one I like. I like Top Step because I've been using them since last year. I'm just used to it, but I'm also trying other companies to see what else works. So typical stuff that I do. Asian session, I mark my highest and my lowest. London session, I mark my highest and my lowest. That's what the red and blue signs are. This golden line is my lowest previous day low and my highest previous day high. And then here's market open. So my bias was bearish because I saw the price had taken out Asian highs. So I was waiting for it to really reverse back down. But I was so impatient. I was super impatient, and I sat in this terrible $3,000 drawdown. So that was my irritation. So I ended up having to get out and then got back in, and I benefited. Obviously, that's how I was able to make some profit. But at the same time, my lesson for today was to exercise patience because my entry was not within my macros. My macros, or the time that I normally enter in, would be between 8:50 Central, or let's speak New York. So 9:50 to 10:30 is my time period that I enter in, but price was not ready then until 11, and I'll show what price looks like. So this orange mark that I have up here is my SMT divergence. This confirmed my bias for bearish, because I marked that I had a higher high. Well, on the 5-minute, I have the higher high, but you can also see here on the 30-minute, this is the higher high too on the NQ. And I dropped down to the ES. It was a lower high. And again, this was on the 5-minute. Now I'm just messed up here. Hold on. So on the 5-minute, when I dropped down to the 5-minute, I had it was a lower high up there, versus the NQ was a higher high even up to this point here. So that gave me confirmation, we're definitely going to be bearish. So it's a matter of just waiting, right? And so by the time hits, when I'm looking at my macros and the time period in which I normally trade, I'm trading somewhere between here. So imagine trading between here and here, you're actually going upward. So it's almost like, what's happening? And I'm stringent to my bias. I don't shake. If I have confirmation with the SMT divergence that it's going to be bearish, it's going to be bearish. It's just a matter of, will it be bearish during the time zone that I want to trade, where I know the volume is going to be good, or it's going to be bearish tomorrow? I don't know. Either way, I know I'm bearish, and I'm sticking to it, because flipping to the other side is where I become indecisive and I don't know what I'm doing. Then I start panicking. And then at this point, I'm just scalping. I'm just out here gambling. It's not making sense. So looking at the market, everything started to flip back around 10:45. And also, I was busy. We were leaving the hotel. we were driving, blah, blah. So I wasn't completely focused, But at some point here is when the market flipped on its own. And I was in this, I actually entered in here initially. And I was in this draw down or draw up, what have you, that took me out. So I had to wait until my proper timing, which was somewhere over here, and got in, and I got out at this Asian low. And I actually entered in both ES and NQ, and actually got out at this Asian low, but was happy to see that it was a really good liquidity sweep, basically. And it still took out previous day lows, this golden height. So again, I used SMT divergence that gave me the confirmation it's a bearish trend. So I was looking for a bearish market. I also saw that the previous session, which is the London session, had taken out this red line, the Asian highs. And so really I was just waiting for it to go down. And then I was looking for a liquidity sweep, which is pretty powerful. And it shows that my last high, if I go back, I can go up to the 30-minute. Is it 30-minute that I want to look at? Yeah, that's fine. You can see that in the London session that's marked as the blue, New York session did exactly what it's supposed to do. It came out and swept out that previous high. So the blue is the previous high. It came up, which is the golden high, and dropped down. This golden line, I just marked it today as it being my highest point for today so that I can reference that tomorrow. But it basically came up, took out what was the most recent high, which is the London high. And that was my indication that, hey, we're going to start going down bearish and following my bias. So I took a trade on both ES and NQ. I entered into 3 contracts with ES, 2 on NQ, or 1 on NQ, actually. I got stopped out initially and re-entered back in where I was supposed to, and I took it just to Asian highs. I actually made 2,200, but again, I was so negative. I was like, so 2,200 minus whatever I was actually yielded $400 for each account. For the accounts across the board, I had 5. I ended up losing 3 because I was in such a bad drawdown, and I obviously broke the number 1 rule. And then with the 2 remaining accounts that I had, I went back in with smaller sizes, smaller positions, and kind of trailed with an MNQ chart, MNQ with 2 contracts, MES with 2 contracts. And that's what took me down to this Asian low. And I set my stop loss. I actually trailed my stop loss because I didn't want to lose much, and almost to net even on both contracts. And I ended the day with 546 on both, so a little over 1,000. So my lesson that I learned for today was to follow to be patient, basically, to be patient, to be focused. But the patience is probably the biggest part because I marked everything like I needed to. I think I took out my fair value gap and my break of, I think it's here, yeah. I marked my fair value gaps. I marked my break of structure. Like I did all the things I'm supposed to, break fair value gap. I got inverse at some point, my SMT divergence. I have my break of structure at some point. It was just patience. So that's